All right. Okay. Finally got it set up. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I forgot to do this. You out here. Okay. Yeah, yesterday I was attempting to ride my bicycle in the rain. I was like, I'm not going to let the rain stop me. And it was raining, right? And then as soon as I turned the corner where there weren't a lot of buildings, this wall of water came up at me. And the road disappeared, and it was just water moving like this. And so I turned back. And my phone got wet. Not the whole phone, but the little part, the button at the bottom that you have to touch for everything. So that's one reason why I was a little discombobulated at the beginning of today's session. But we're here now. My name is Tachia, aka Arit, here for Good Rising TV Wellness Wednesdays, where we discuss various topics on health and natural healing. And some of my favorite topics: astrology, sound healing frequencies, herbs, flower essences, crystals, and just healing different um, situations in general. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's your girl live. It's your girl live. Thank you. So my name is Tachia, and we're gonna get started right now. So if you followed the little video about announcing the live stream, I was asking if you're feeling mentally drained, struggling with loneliness. What was the other one? Want to take a break from everything. So that's kind of what we're doing today. I'm not one that follows the elections closely, so I don't even know if it's over. Maybe somebody can tell me. You waved. Oh, so let me know. Is it over? Have they come up with a decision yet? I don't know. But what we have here on the screen behind me is a 13-month sidereal astrology chart. And for the past two Wellness Wednesdays, I was not able to log into my account and see the chart. So I'm really grateful that it's here today. Oh, for those of you just dropping by, I hope you stay a while, maybe get a cup of tea, and you can stay for a minute. And for those of you who are sticking around, if you could, can't see the sign. There we go. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you for tapping the screen. Okay, great. Thank you so much, El Guapo and Anne. So anyway, what we have is the 13-month sidereal astrology chart. And if you were going to get your reading, you would get a horoscopes reading, because when I do the astrology, not only do we have the 13-month sidereal, but each planet and constellation corresponds to one of the Neteru, the gods or goddesses. So it's called horoscopes. Let's look at the chart for today. Pull this a little bit closer. Uh-oh. It's my alarm to go live. I'm already live. Yay. All right, so the first thing I do is I look for where is the sun? And the sun must be hiding behind that. No, it's not. It's over here. Yeah, here it is. So the sun is in sidereal Libra. So that would be Dua Ra, Dua Ma'at. So it should be a time of balance and peace, right? We should be coming into a time of creating justice, like manifesting justice, manifesting peace. What is Ma'at? Let's start with that. Because this is the constellation of Ma'at, so it's a time of Ma'at. So this is the time we should be using our creativity to manifest these qualities. This is a horoscopes. It's not just astrology. It's about how can we manifest and how can we win in life. Okay, so TikTok won't be able to see me if I do that. So let me do this. Well, I don't need to. So Ma'at. Okay, yeah, you can really see the principles of Ma'at because we're in the month of Ma'at. So let me. Okay, let me take it off. Well, let me remove the background. Isn't that interesting? Okay. All right, it won't let me remove the background TikTok, so we're just gonna talk about it anyway. I'm gonna let technology slow me down. Okay, here we go. So Ma'at. So during this month, we should be focused on creating Ma'at. That's balance, truth, order, harmony, justice, reciprocity, and righteousness. Now, isn't it ironic that this corporation holds their election during the time of Ma'at, and they're actually the total opposite, the antithesis of Ma'at. You see that? There we go. How ironic is that? Okay. All right, so in your personal life, you would harness this energy that's out and focus on bringing that into your life, making changes, letting go of things, detaching from things, situations, and people that no longer serve you. At Horoscopes, it's not about what signs is the planets in. It's about how to use the cosmic forces of nature to manifest the lifestyle that we are wanting to lead. So today's the first day that I woke up feeling really low energy. I've been doing so well, and I'm hoping that today's conversation gets me out of this little funk. So I'm going to work on using my creativity to manifest my art in my life, because we have the sun in sidereal Libra. And the reason we say Libra is Ma'at is because Libra, the constellation of Libra, is represented by the scales of Ma'at. Okay, so right now we're in the time of Ma'at. All right, and then now what else have we got here? We've got Mercury is it retrograde? No, Mercury is in sidereal Scorpio. Now, Scorpio, in the 13-month sidereal system, Scorpio, what is it? Oh. Scorpio in the Medinectar, the constellation is called Eve, but the goddess, the Scorpion goddess, is Selket. So we have Jehuti, which is Mercury. Oops. Yeah. So we have Mercury in sidereal Scorpio, or let me see if I can get this off again, TikTok. How do you get no background? I don't want any background. It won't. Let's see what's this. Add background. Oh, there we go. All right, now you can see a TikTok. Okay, so we have Mercury in sidereal Scorpio, or Jehuti in sidereal, in Jehuti and Selket. So that would mean now is the time to use our cosmic mind and reading some material, reading some scriptures or educational materials that will help us to defeat our ego. That's what I need right now, because the only reason you would feel down is if you're allowing your ego to rule you, which is a not easy thing to admit, but what else could it possibly be? Good rising, great awakenings. Goodness gracious. So what else could it possibly be? If you're feeling down, is that I'm choosing my ego instead of my royal personality. Now I can show you the sign. Oops. Thank you so much for tapping the screen. For those of you who are sticking around, we're just having a conversation about things other than the election. And right now we're talking about horoscopes and astrology, how to use that for healing. All right, so we're going to work on using our mind to defeat our egoism. Like I said, just reading a scripture or chanting, anything using your mind or your voice, or your voice. And then, so I'm thinking about what's going on in the world today, how they have this election at this time of year, and it creates the opposite of balance, truth, order, harmony, justice, reciprocity, and righteousness. So that could be why I'm feeling a little out of it, and like I said earlier, I don't even know if the election is over. For those of you who are still on this live stream, if you could tap in if you're happy about the election or how it turned out. I've been looking around, but people are just still talking about it. I don't know the results yet. Maybe they don't know the results either. All right, and then next on the chart, put it up again. What was that button? My phone got wet, so it's not working very well. Okay, forget it. Okay, TikTok, I'm sorry, you can't see the Moonstar Psychic Healing. Good rising, Moonstar Psychic Healing. We're just talking about sidereal astrology for today. And the next one is Venus. Venus is in, like I said, I haven't been able to log into my site for a couple of weeks, so this is new to me. Venus is in Ophiuchus. How exciting. Venus, that would be Heteru. Is in Ophiuchus. And in horoscopes, this is called Imhotep. So what is Ophiuchus? Well, Ophiuchus is the 13th constellation along the ecliptic that only recently has been recognized by the mainstream mass media. And when you're looking at Ophiuchus in the night sky, you're actually looking towards the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And it's so bizarre that they just try to leave it out of astrology, because we know that time moves forward one day every 70 years. So the charts that we're looking at now, the zodiac charts we're looking at now, are like 4,000 years old. They're outdated. I don't know how old they are, actually. 2,000 years old, maybe. But all the constellations, from our perspective, have moved back, because due to the precession of the equinox, things move backwards, right? So there's a wobble. So for instance, my zodiac is in the Western system is Leo, but in reality, in nature, I'm a Cancer. So they're like one sign off, one sign behind. And then I mentioned Scorpio earlier, Selket, but I did not mention that Selket is only 7 days long. Indigenous calendars are usually 13 months, and one of the months is 5 to 7 days long. It's only the Western calendar that ignores Ophiuchus and has the 12 months and has them all equal. But in reality, they're not equal. I don't know if I brought this chart today. Yes, I did. Great. So this is a chart that shows you how the constellations are actually arranged in nature. And so this is what we use when we practice cast horoscopes with 13 months sidereal astrology. So this little red slice right here is Scorpio. And it's only 7 days long. And Virgo, which we just ended, is this teal one, and it's 45 days long. So they're not all even. They're not evenly distributed. That's why I haven't bothered to memorize it yet. So we have Venus in an Ophiuchus. So Venus is the goddess of love and beauty. Had to do with the cosmic force of love and beauty and passion and dancing and the life force energy. And Imhotep is the master healer, architect, and engineer. So this is a time for us to heal. I'll say heal the heart, but I would really say heal our vision of beauty. You know, I'm just talking about what I'm feeling and experiencing right now. Healing the way we perceive the world and how we feel when we see the world, and how how it can affect us. Like, I think what happened was I allowed some events from yesterday to affect me because I had been standing strongly and sitting firmly on my inner throne, and I allowed something to move me. So that would be the horoscopes for this Venus in Ophiuchus. Not so much about healing the heart, but healing. Oh, good rising. Thank you for tuning in. Healing how we view the world, how we perceive the world, and what we're looking at, not allowing it to take us away from our center. Because when we have the sun in sidereal Libra or Ma'at. So it's a time for us to create Ma'at in our world. Good rising, Uba Nefer, to create Ma'at in our world. Not the global world, but in our reality. So that when we're looking at our world, we see balance, truth, order, harmony, justice, reciprocity. Oh, Dua, thank you so much. So that we're manifesting Ma'at. Like, they say if everybody cleans their sidewalk in front of their house, the whole street will be clean. So if everyone takes time to create Ma'at in their world, in our world, then the whole world will be clean. Will be Ma'at, because that's the goal, right? Is to restore Ma'at upon the world, upon the earth. Thank you so much for sharing your good love and energy with me, because I'm on here today. So we're here to create Ma'at, to use our divine intelligence, our cosmic mind, to defeat egoism, because that's what Selket does. Selket defeats ego. She slays the fetters of Set. She stings. Like when your ego comes up, you might feel a sting, right? A spiritual sting. Like, don't be that way. That's Selket stinging your egoism. And then we're also going to be healing the way we view the world, the way we feel about what we're seeing, because, like, things look terrible and it can make you feel really bad. I think that's what happened to me. Like I said, I was riding my bike and the water it was going to take me out. But anyway, I've got to get over that and not allow the physical reality and the so-called elections and the things going on in the world, Peanut the squirrel, and all the people that are just suffering, not let that make me suffer. And one of the things about the beauty path, the path of beauty, is to be able to see the beauty in all things. So even though these terrible things are happening, we have to remember to see the beauty in all things. So that's what this is reminding me to do. See the beauty in all things. No matter how dreadful they are. Like Bob Marley, no matter what the crisis is, what? Give Jah all your thanks and praises. So that's what I got to remember, because this is the first morning in months that I felt the way I used to feel. I haven't been feeling that way. And I don't want to stay there. No, no, no. Okay, where are we with the clock? Okay, we're doing good. Okay. So this is what I do when I do a chart. I just go around the circle. Let me see if I could put it back up for you, TikTok, so you could see it. My phone got wet yesterday, and so now the little buttons aren't working very well. Okay, so this is a 13 months ideal chart. Let me get out the way. And this Ophiuchus isn't showing up there. There's some more light over here. If I get out the way, you can see it better. Ophiuchus is the 13th constellation somewhere. I don't know how to point to it. Let's see. On this one, it's purple. Yeah, it's the purplish blue. I don't think that's showing up on this chart. Yeah, it's not showing up. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to go to, well, I skipped one. I skipped Juno. Right? Is that Juno? Yes. No, that's Pallas Athena. I'm just getting familiar with the asteroids. So that's Vesta, Ceres, Pallas Athena. I think that is Pallas Athena. Hold on. Like I said, I'm just getting used to the symbols for the asteroids. They've added asteroids to the astrology chart. I think they did that because most of the planets are male energy. And so they made all the asteroids the goddess. So those are more female. I'm trying to find the symbol. Okay, yes, I was right. Okay, so Pallas Athena is also in Ophiuchus. Pallas Athena symbolizes or corresponds to the goddess Nit, which is our protection. Yeah, so if you were to sign up to do the horoscopes, I would just go around your chart and the horoscopes is designed to show us how to use the cosmic forces in our life so that we can win. I don't know what Western astrology is for. It's usually very depressing, but horoscopes is to show how to align yourself with the cosmic forces the way they are aligned. So that's why we're going over this right now, because I'm just feeling kind of odd that, I don't know what happened with that. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, so, okay, I gotta use the hammer. I need a production assistant to come in here and do all this. I'm just kidding. Okay, so anyway, Pallas Athena corresponds to Goddess Nit. Goddess Nit is the goddess of war. She's a warrior goddess. And she's symbolized by arrows and bow and arrows. And she's also represented by a weaving spool, a knitting spool. And she's the goddess that weaves the fabric of creation. Okay, so I have to take this off from TikTok again so they can see what I'm writing. One of these days, I will have it together. Oh, there, good, it worked. Great, okay. All right, so we have Pallas Athena. Or goddess Nit in Ophiuchus. The symbol for Ophiuchus has this swirly thing here, and that represents the snake. The Ophiuchus is symbolized by a man stepping on the back of a scorpion, and it's Ophiuchus represents the center of the Milky Way. So this is like a target, right? Athena has the bow and arrow, and she is pointing it towards the center of the Milky Way. So to me, that means Our healing, global healing, needs to be focused on our protections. Protection from what? From Western imperialism. That's my catch-all phrase for everything that I'm fighting against. I'm tired of just listing it all out. Western imperialism and Caucasity. Okay, so that's what I'm working on right now, actually, is developing my protection against Western imperialism and Caucasity. I'm sure you heard about what happened with Peanut the squirrel. Oh, good rising, higher dimensions. I'm so glad that you're here too. I'm really glad to see you here. Talking about Peanut the squirrel the other day, we had our Nation Building to American Tuesday. How this family had these rescue animals, and some Karen called the SWAT team on them, and they went in and stole Peanut and Fred the raccoon and murdered them, unalived them. And to me, that was a wake up call. Like, if somebody across the street doesn't like what you're doing or saying, they could wreak havoc on your lives. And that happened to me already. About 30 years ago, someone was in trouble with the law, and they lied and said that all these illegal substances were at our house. And 40 SWAT team members showed up and ruined our life for a couple of years. We were in it was a bit of a mess. But I'm really going to take this to heart about the goddess net. To bring about my healing, I really need to focus on my protection and my paperwork. So I'm really going to take that to heart. So I appreciate it. I appreciate this. 9:32, 8:32. Okay, well, it's taken me a long time to go around, but I'm going to keep going. Thank you so much, David Volcano, for joining. If you want to join the conversation on sidereal astrology, just tap me a comment and I will add you to this discussion. I'm not really into the match games, so I don't do that. But this is healing me right now, going through this astrology chart. I've been so busy, I haven't been able to tune in because I wasn't able to log in. So for those of you that are still tuning in, I really appreciate you. And anytime you are feeling moved to, just interact with me with a comment or a chat. Okay, so next we have Pluto. Ooh, this is nice. Oh, wait, Sirius. No, wait, I skipped the moon. Sorry, the moon, Sirius, and Pluto. And Pluto is no longer retrograde. Yay! Are all in sidereal Sagittarius. Okay. Well, that tells a lot about me right there, because I don't know. The last time I traveled was over a year ago. And I'm usually traveling. And I'm kind of stuck here. So that could be why I'm feeling this way. Not traveling. Ooh, the wall is going to come down. Oh, that's for sure. I'll get there. Okay, so we have. Of course. I used to have a fear of dropping screws and thumbtacks because they would just kind of disappear and I'd never find them and be all upset about it. Just to be upset about the stupid things. Okay, so we have Sirius, which is a sickle, represents cereal. That's where the word cereal comes from, Sidus, which, is an asteroid attributed to our Set. We have Sirius, the moon. I put cereal, Sirius. The moon, which is Sesheta. It's only Jehuti if it's full. When it's just not full, it's Sesheta. And Pluto. And Pluto is a star. And what do you know? So we have a star and a Set in Sidereal Sagittarius. Sagittarius Sagittarius have 1 G or 2? And in horoscopes, Sagittarius is also ruled by a star. Is this the one? A star or moon? Okay, that's why we have the Natarian Thursdays, because on Thursdays we talk about the netters. Today we're talking about how we can use these cosmic forces to manifest what we want to see in our lives. So for those of you just tuning in, we had the sun is in sidereal, is in Ma'at, sidereal Libra. So it's time to use your creativity to create Ma'at in your world. And we had Mercury in sidereal, Scorpio, or Jehuti Selket. So we're using our cosmic mind, divine intelligence, reading sacred scriptures or affirmations. In sidereal Scorpio, which is the ego, Selket is the Scorpion goddess, and she defeats the ego. So we're going to use our divine cosmic mind to defeat our ego and how to respond to the egoism in others. That's the main thing. And then we also had Sidus and Venus in sidereal, in Ophiuchus or Aset, and Heteru in Imhotep. And now we're down to Sagittarius, where we have the moon, Sidus, and Pluto in sidereal Sagittarius. Okay. So as I mentioned before, that means we have a Sar and a Set, which is a very dynamic duo, intuition and universal soul. And Sesheta, the goddess of the cosmic scribe. So Jehuti is the cosmic mind, and Sesheta is the cosmic scribe, and she writes everything down. She's the one who came up with the hieroglyphs and taught to Jehuti, and Jehuti gets all the credit. So this would be a great time, wow, because Sagittarius is all about traveling. Sagittarius is a when you look at the constellation, it looks like a teapot that's pointing towards the Milky Way. The center, it's pointing towards the center of the Milky Way. So it's like pouring out the Milky Way. That's how I look at it. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. But Sagittarius is pointing towards the center of the Milky Way. It's pointing towards Ophiuchus. So I would say this would be a really good time to tune into your intuition and write out your travel plans. Yeah. The travel plans for your soul, not like your business plans or family plans or a vacation, but a travel plan for your soul, like your journey, your spiritual journey, a travel plan. Because I have like a vision board, and I have drawn this image of myself on this boat, because we all have a boat on your spiritual journey. Everyone has a boat. Some people are still trying to catch on to the cords of the boats of the gods and goddesses, but we actually have a boat of our own. We just don't use it. So I have a vision for my boat. I have a vision for the life that I want, but I don't have a travel plan for my spiritual journey, like an itinerary, things like that. So I'm going to work on that. I hope I remember this. This is brilliant. Travel plan for the spiritual journey of the soul. What is it? For the spiritual success of the soul on its journey home. Because the goal of this life is to live in such a way that we don't have to come back. Hold on, the spiritual success of the soul on its journey home. So that is brilliant for me. I'm really excited about this. I don't have a travel plan. Every day I say I want to travel the world with music and sound, but I don't really have a plan. I don't really have an itinerary. I don't know where I want to go. I haven't made any contacts. I haven't reached out to any wellness centers. I was just trying to get the building together so I could start teaching again. Okay, so that's really good. All right, what else do we have here? I think I'm going to move on to the next. Well, I don't know. if you get up in the morning, this is one thing. This is astronomy. When you get up in the morning before sunrise, and luckily sunrise is late in the day, so you might actually be able to get up before sunrise. When you look towards the west, well, it's still kind of zenith. I guess it's in between straight up zenith and the west. You'll see Jupiter, which is not quite in the sacred hoop yet. Where is it? Jupiter is still in Taurus. So when Jupiter moves into Gemini, it will be in the sacred hoop. It's Mars? No, Mars is in Cancer. Okay, yeah, there's nothing in the sacred hoop right now. So Jupiter is still in Taurus. It's moving towards the sacred hoop. It's a very bright planet. You'll think it's a star planet. And then I say 45, maybe 30 degrees to the left, 30 degrees to the east, you'll see Sirius, which is my favorite star. You may be able to see Orion, which is a star, right below Jupiter, but it depends on what time. Like if you get up at like 4 or 3 in the morning, you'll see it. After a while, the sunlight will make it difficult to see. But I love it when I go out and I can see Sirius and Orion's belt. So if you have time to get up early, I'm not from where I am. I guess I need to figure out what time is Sirius rising right now. So let me write that down. Okay, so I guess the moon, the crescent moon, we should be able to see the moon soon. So the next time you see the moon, within the next 2 or 3 days, you will be looking at Pluto and the asteroid Ceres in the constellation of Sagittarius, and you will be looking towards the center of the Milky Way. So that's your homework. 2 assignments. Look for the moon and let me know what time it's rising where you're at, because it's been rainy and cloudy. I haven't seen it. And then I'm going to look and see what time is Sirius rising these days. And then tomorrow morning at between 4 and 6 a.m., which is really sacred time, go out and look. I guess at around 4, it'll be overhead, zenith, and you'll be able to see the sacred hoop. You'll be able to see Jupiter in Taurus. You'll be able to see Sirius and Orion's belt. And this will tell you why. You'll be able to see why I follow the 13-month sidereal, because you're going to go out, you're going to see Jupiter. You're going to see Jupiter is in sidereal Taurus. But when you go look at the Western astrology chart, it's going to tell you that Jupiter is in Gemini. And then you're going to go back out and look up at the constellation Gemini and say, well, Jupiter is not in Gemini, so why am I going to follow this system? That's what happened to me. It was in, was it 1999? Yeah, 1999. I had just come into the awareness of this discrepancy between Western astrology and reality. And I had the astronomer's ephemeris, because in my previous existence, I was going to be an astronaut. I was going to be an astronomer. Sometimes that still stings, but that's my ego, right? That's my ego. But it stings because of the injustice. But anyway, I looked at the ephemeris and it told me the moon was in a certain constellation. I went outside and it wasn't in that constellation. It was obviously 2 constellations over. How could it have been 2 constellations over? Because the Western astrology does not include Ophiuchus. And I just got so angry. I was fed up with Rastafari. I was fed up with men. I was fed up with Black Hebrew Israelites. I was so fed up with the whole thing that my locks were all the way down to my derriere. I went into the bathroom and cut off all my hair. It was probably around this time. It was in November. Yeah, and I just was furious. So, I'm not going to do that right now. If I ever cut my hair again, it won't be in November because it was so cold. But those are your assignments. When you come back, tell me or text me or DM me or comment on this video, YouTube, that you saw the moon that is in sidereal Sagittarius, and that you also were able to find Sirius, Orion, and Jupiter. Okay, great. All right, so that's our astrology talk, and it took almost the whole time. That's okay. I really needed to go through that because I was not feeling very well this morning. I was feeling emotionally drained. I was struggling with loneliness, and I was, what was the other one? Ready to take a break from everything. This has nothing to do with Wellness Wednesday, but if you are a content creator on TikTok, have you heard about, what is it, creators search rewards or whatever, where they have topics that there's not enough videos on these topics, so they encourage you to make videos on these topics. So that's why that video said, are you emotionally drained? Are you struggling with loneliness? And are you ready to take a break? So we'll see how it went. Okay. The next thing on my list of things to talk about was, and again, if anyone wants to join in the conversation, just let me know what you want to talk about, and I will bring you in. I don't randomly invite people on because sometimes I just want to be do the match game, so I don't do that. All right, I do have this beautiful sign. Good rising, great awakening. And I want to go over, why do I still say good rising instead of God is rising like other people? Because God is good. Well, no, people say grand rising or great rising. I say good rising because God is good, and we are gods and goddesses rising in consciousness, awareness, and understanding. And when I say great awakenings, I'll say great awakenings to you at 7:00 p.m. because we're always having an awakening to our higher consciousness, to our higher self, waking up to this illusion. Oh, thank you. I'm enjoying my cup of tea. Thank you. And this is the Light Being Wellness Center, of course, Good Rising TV. And this is also Asmataji Temple. And here we have the symbol for Asmataji Temple. We have, this is the throne. That's a symbol for Aset, which we talked about a little bit. And then here, I'm backwards. Here's the feather of Ma'at. We talked about, this is the month of Ma'at. The sun is in Sidereal Libra, which is Ma'at. And then here we have the glyph for Sirius, and we talked about Sirius. So this is the symbol for Asmataji Temple of Divine Light, Healing, and Sweet Sounds. And everything that I'm doing is coming from this cosmic being called Asmataji, who revealed herself to me and instructed me to set up this temple. I've just been like, what? Now I have a building. I have to get it together. And what astrology system do I use? Oh, that's a wonderful suggestion. Question. I use astroapp.com. I'm going to type it in here. And it took a long time to find this app. Most people don't want to tell you where they get their info. Hopefully you still come to me for your chart. Oh, wait, is that right? Yeah, astroapp.com. However, to get access to the sidereal, the 13-month sidereal system, you have to be you have to subscribe. It's $12.99 a month. You can go month to month, and I would be happy to help you. Goddess Golden Timeline 711. I do charts and consultations, and I do sound healing with your astrology chart. Let's say you sign up and you get an astrology chart, then I would do a cosmic chimes and chanting for your birth chart, like just right now, how we went through the zodiac chart for today. We go through the chart together. I would, I write out my analysis. This process takes me a very long time, by the way, because I can't stop everything and do it. I have to do it in between everything. And then you can do a thing called cosmic chimes and chanting for your birth date. So I look up your chart and then I choose the chimes that correspond to your birth date. And then I also can do a sound healing session, and I choose the tuning forks based on your birth date. And I use this 13-month sidereal system, and my practice is called Heruscopes, Heruscopes. Why is it capitals? Because I have the caps lock on. horoscopes. And with horoscopes, it's not just about, oh, the sun is in Sidereal Libra, so you better watch out because a giant scale is going to drop out of the sky and it's going to crash on you, and it's not all about doom and gloom, like Western astrology is usually it's just, I don't like it. But this system, which came through me from the divine, teaches us how to win in life. So, for instance, if someone comes to me and says, "Oh, I have my son in Leo, and I da 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 da," and I say, "Well, actually, your son is in Cancer. So all your creativity is to be used to help your family, your spiritual family, your physical family, whatever. It's to be used to help family. It's not just used to be, the star of the show," which is what I had to go through. Or another one is someone might be an accounting executive at a hospital, right? And their job is driving them crazy. And we look at their chart. It's like, well, you have Venus in Ophiuchus, and you have Jehuti in Ophiuchus, and that would mean that your passion is for healing, but your divine intelligence, your wisdom, should be directed in healing, not accounting for healing. You should figure out what your healing gift is. Maybe it's numerology or whatever. And so that's how we align your life with the constellation, so you know what you need to be doing in life to win, to use this information. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the love. So that's the purpose of Horoscope's 13-month Kemetic Sidereal Astrology System, learning how you can win in life. For example, right now, Jupiter is still in Sidereal Taurus. Jupiter is abundance. Your sidereal sun is 29 degrees Pisces and 23 degrees in Aries tropical. All right. Is this 13-month sidereal astrology or Vedic sidereal astrology? Because the Vedic system, they don't recognize Ophiuchus. And usually when you go to the Vedic system, when they say your sign is da-da-da, they're telling you that your moon sign, their main thing is the moon, whereas our main thing is the sun. Okay. Pisces and Aries. Ooh, the beginning and the end. At this system, we don't say that the Aries doesn't have any, of no value. The Western system is how you move about the earth, because that system is based on the earth, how the earth moves. It's not based on how we move. The sidereal system, 13 months, is based on your, oh, okay, yeah. So this is 13 months sidereal. Yeah. Whenever I stop, I lose my train of thought just that fast. It was a good one. Well, it'll come back. Anyway, let me just keep going. Yes, well, I would love to do your chart. Let me see. What is your birthday? Let me tell you what your sidereal. What's your birthday? Can you type in your birthday? And we can at least see if your sidereal, your 13-month sidereal sun is Pisces or Aquarius. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, so I think I was about to move on to frequencies. Yeah, I was talking about horoscopes and learning how to use the cosmic forces to win in life by aligning yourself with the way the gods and goddesses were aligned at the time of your birth. So, okay. All right. So the next section I usually go to is frequencies. And I don't always get all the way through. I have a list of topics I want to talk about. And if anybody wants to, on TikTok, if you want to ask me a question in person, if it's about wellness, astrology, healing, I can invite you in, but I don't want to get off track because I have different days and different topics, and it helps me because I'm doing these live sessions this way so I can actually start to organize my research project, because I was just feeling overwhelmed and I wasn't doing anything. Like when I would go live, I would do everything in one session, music, astrology, everything, and I was just not organized. Okay, April 13th, 1970. Okay. Yes, in a 13-month sidereal astrology system, you are a sidereal Pisces, and that would be Nebuchadnezzar, dealing with emotions, learning how to release emotions, without like causing a flood. That's how I look at Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar is the goddess of physicality and mortality, and she's the lady of the house. So if you want to talk more about it, let me know. So now I'm going to move on to frequencies. And last, higher dimensions. You're such a guiding star. I've never stepped in a digital room and your engagement simply became a river of confirmation. Definitely going to get a reading this season. Too good, light being wellness. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That really warms my heart because sometimes I wonder, what am I trying to do? What am I doing here? But I know that I have a mission and a purpose and I can't give up. And when I meet people like you, it just makes everything worthwhile. So thank you so much. Okay, so the last Good Rising TV Wellness Wednesday, I did something new for me. And I started talking about my book. That the book is finished. I have to make the charts look nice. Like right now, they're just boring, but I'm going to work on the charts. The Book of Frequencies, Hesiu Neteru. Is there any more room on that? Yeah. Hesiu Neteru. So we're switching to frequencies and sound healing. And this is the book that I needed to write so that I could start teaching sound healing again, because we need all these frequencies in one place. Like right now, they're in this folder, they're in my notebook, they're tacked on my walls, and I just needed them all in one place so that when people take the class, they'll have them, and I won't be like, oh, let me send it to you. So I took time out from my life to work on this book called Hesiu Neteru, The Vibrations of the Neteru. Now, how did I learn about this term? I studied with Temple of Shaital-Neter, Temple of Aset at EgyptianYoga.com with Dr. Mwada Ashby and Seba for 12 years. I was their temple musician. I became a chantress, a singing priestess. I found my calling. It was so amazing. And they're the ones who taught me how to recognize my ego and how to deal with my egoism and how to deal with egoism in the world and in others. And that takes us back to what? The Mercury is in sidereal Scorpio, or Dua Jehuti Dua Selket. Sebaja is the one that broke it down to me, changed my whole life. It was the name of the class where I found out this term, Hesiu Neteru, is the Temple of Aset class on the myth of Ra and Aset. And we talk about this on Thursdays, Natarian devotion on Thursdays. And talking about how just, like he gave an example of that, back in the day, they had that lady who opposite, and the glass broke. And was it live or Memorex? Was it a recording or live? But how the voice, the frequencies can shatter glass, okay? And also frequencies can create. And so on October 17th, 2022, I had the great good fortune to experience a green flash sunrise. I mean, has anyone ever heard of a green flash sunrise before? I never had, but I was living at another place, another apartment, and I don't know what I was doing something late at night, and I fell asleep in the living room on the sofa. And when I opened my eyes, and the whole outside my window, everything was green. Everything was green. It was like Kepra had this giant green flashlight, and he was shining it on the whole world, and everything was covered in green light. And it lasted for about a minute. I ran to the window, and I was like, what am I seeing? And then it was gone. And then I looked up green flash sunrise, and it's a thing. It's has to do with the moisture in the air, and if it's hot or cold. It's a very rare occurrence. It's like a one in a lifetime experience, and it's very rare. I went online and I found out about a man who experienced it when he was in his 20s. And then he spent the rest of his life trying to experience it again. And he experienced it again in his 80s. Okay. But anyway, after that, it was a major healing for me because I was really going through a lot. Domestic violence, survivor, like it was ugly. That's why you didn't hear from me very much. But anyway, I was going through all that, and that experience just opened up something in me. And then after that, I started getting these downloads of this system that I'm sharing now. I'm getting ready to share of how Kepra is the god that Nebuchadnezzar manifested as in order to create creation. People think Ra is the creator. Ra is creation. Ra is our creativity. Ra is the ego of creation. Okay. And so I was told that this new system is going to allow us to manifest using the cosmic forces of nature. And on Thursdays, I'm reading from this book by Professor Hilton Tema, Cosmic Forces of the Ancient Masters. But anyway, tune in tomorrow from 8 to 9:30 a.m. It's going to be great. How can we learn to create the way Kepri did? By using the ideal solids, the frequencies, the sounds of the gods and goddesses. Simple. Ideal solids. Now, Western imperialism calls it platonic solids. Plato was studying in Kemet. So why are we going to call it platonic solids? The actual name is ideal solids. And those are the three-dimensional shapes of the torus, which is like a donut, energy donut. The Merkaba, which is the pyramids, top, intersecting pyramids. I gotta learn the Greek names of the shapes. I only know the Neteru names. Let's see if I can find it here. So these are the notes from my book. And I wrote the book by hand.